Hi guys, welcome to the show. I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And busy freaking day today with a bunch of stuff going on. Surprising stuff going on too.
Okay.
So here are the goods. Transformers 5. It's already been announced. The teaser on it came out yesterday. I believe it was yesterday.
Wait, it was a teaser?
Yeah, it was somewhat. They wanted to tease the logo and the fact that it's already coming. Okay. And it is now called Transformers: The Last Night with a K. The Last Night.
This reminds me of, remember when around 2000, everything was like 2K and it was a buzzword, and Night's the buzzword since The Dark Knight, and everything doesn't have to be night. Well, they might as well just called it N-I-G-H-T. That's probably right? N-I-G-H-T instead of K-N-I-G-H-T, because it's ridiculous, and all it is like, oh, it sounds cooler, it sounds hipper, it sounds edgy to call it Night. What Night exists in Transformers lore?
Well, if you remember at the end of Age of Extinction, your favorite, he is considered a knight.
Of what?
The Knights of Prime Knight. I don't know.
Because he has a sword.
Right. So anyway, he at the end of Age of Extinction, he goes off into space. Optimus does, and he's looking for the rest of the knights.
Which really makes no sense, because didn't they get in a space shuttle to leave the planet, and now he just put on a jetpack and he's gone?
Well, here's what I want to know: is the government? First, they found a thing on Mars that took place they found the robot that hit the droid or whatever it was, right?
Okay.
In 2007, that's how they figured out that there was alien life.
Right. Really trying to watch these movies on my brain, but go ahead.
But in reality, they knew about it in the 60s because
the original primes.
Because of the mission to the moon, to the moon, the dark of the moon. So yeah. I have no idea what
you're trying to make sense.
I'm trying to make sense
out
of this.
Movies made by Transformers movies made by Michael Bay. There is no making sense.
It's not.
But the movie title is crap. All I'm doing is waiting for it to get it over with. That's all I want. I just want to get it over with.
Well, this is part of
just get it over with.
This is part of
a new trilogy. Oh God, don't remind me.
Yes, it is. It is part of a new trilogy, somewhat of a reboot trilogy, which I guess that would be Age of Extinction would be the reboot, and then this is the second one. So is this Empire? Is this Empire of the second one?
The way that they announced it was like they're going to do 3 more, so it looks like they're going to 7 instead of 6.
Well, yeah, it's a really big Transformers cinematic universe, and because they're going to go spin-offs of Bumblebee, spin-offs of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the title is not the normal Transformers title that they've been using, a la the TV show. Mm-hmm. This one's a little bit different, and what they're saying is that it resembles ROM. So in episode 5, we talked about the cinematic universe with ROM and Micronauts and Mask. We did not say G.I. Joe, but apparently G.I. Joe is part of it, and
now Transformers,
and now possibly Transformers, because it's going into space, ROM's in space or whatever. So there's a possible connection that this is going to eventually cross over with this cinematic universe.
All right, taking this serious, this whole Hasbro cinematic universe, taking it serious.
Oh, Visionaries too.
Oh God. Taking it serious. And we actually had a whole 80s TV show marathon with my daughter the other day, and it was fun, but Visionary still sucks. But taking this cinematic universe serious. Silverhawks was awesome. They need more time to establish these particular properties first before they can sit up there and try to cross them over, because all you're going to do is introduce a bunch of characters nobody's familiar with, even people from the 80s, because of what you picked.
I agree 100% with you, because I don't know what ROM is. I don't know what Micronauts are.
ROM the Space Knight with a K.
Well, as we said before, that this is part of a new trilogy. But the interesting and fun fact about all this is that Michael Bay is bringing back Josh Duhamel as Lennox. Now, Mark Wahlberg.
What?
Lennox. That's his name, Lennox. Lieutenant Lennox or Colonel Lennox.
Oh, Oh, God, I really try to watch these movies out of my head.
So Mark Wahlberg took over for Shia in episode 4, in Age of Extinction.
Does that make Shia part of this universe?
This is a possibility that Shia may be
Shia's
back.
not coming back.
I doubt he will.
Shia's not coming back.
If you looked at Shia's when he filmed himself watching all his movies, he was like dreading watching Transformers. So I seriously doubt he will, unless he wants Mulligan and they give him some kind of creative control, which I seriously doubt that'll happen on this type of movie.
The only way to get him back is they pay him a lot of money, and then the fans are gonna riot because they don't want him back. They should riot just for the fact that Michael Bay's still making a movie. Y'all should not go see this film, but they're not gonna accept Shia.
Well, Age of Extinction was all over the place. I mean, they had so many freaking plots and subplots and plot holes, and I don't even know what the hell's going on.
They should just continue forward.
There I go again.
Go to Cybertron.
Age of Extinction was the lowest out of all of them, but it did create. Now that's domestically, but it did make 1.1 billion worldwide.
Right.
And again, Asia likes Transformers. They hate Star Wars.
Oh.
So
you know why?
So that means that Transformers 5 could knock Force Awakens out of number 3.
Possibly. Possibly. Could be.
Well, from one reboot to another reboot. We talked about it a few episodes ago that DC was in the middle of their rebirth.
Right.
And that is actually, again, taking place this summer. To go along with that, in issue 1, they will be releasing or showcasing a new logo.
Oh, which is really good.
They're trying to have a new identity.
All right.
Now, I think it's been around for
DC's
80, 90 years. It's been around for a long time.
It's about time. Marvel's changed theirs. It's about time for them to change theirs.
Right. So they want a new. Yeah. They want something to for the future. So they're going to kick it off with this rebirth, and then after that, you'll be seeing a lot of this. You'll be seeing this logo in a lot of the TV shows, the upcoming Wonder Woman movie.
So it's going to be that little opening title thing that they do, and instead of like, they do the little circle with the DC and running around and doing the color of the character.
Have you seen it?
I just saw the new logo,
right.
But like the old logo was pretty cool. They changed the character of the letters, and then they would do a little circle around it, and the color would always match the character.
And it would look like it looked kind of like the way Marvel does it with the pages.
Yeah.
But this was. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was actually cool. They should have just left it at that. But anyway,
it's Rebirth. We're doing new things.
You guys check out that logo when
it's crap. I seen the logo. It's crap. I was trying to
very lanternish, very Green Lanternish.
It's not even
very Varsity Blues.
It's Varsity Blues. It's just like somebody was in high school and they said design me a logo, and they got a quick little stencil and they went and they drew a D and a C and they're like, here you go.
It's basically Monsters University.
Somebody got paid for this. They got paid a lot to come up with this. And then somebody in a boardroom, a bunch of people in a boardroom said, oh, it's good. Yeah, go with that.
Well, the upcoming Suicide Squad movie that's coming out this August will definitely have that logo in it, right? So big, and one of the highlighted characters,
bullets through it,
which I really think is going to steal the show. And that's Harley Quinn. That's Margot Robbie.
Right.
Well, it has just been announced that there will be a spin-off. A Harley Quinn spin-off. Now, it's not necessarily going to be a solo movie where it's just her. It's actually going to showcase a lot of the females in this universe, like Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Batgirl, Katana, Bumblebee.
Not familiar with that.
Not from Transformers, but Bumblebee. And Bumblebee Tuna. Your balls are showing. Bumblebee Tuna.
But Catwoman maybe.
Catwoman. There's no word. There's no word for Catwoman.
That'd be a perfect opportunity for them to bring her back. It
won't be Anne Hathaway. It will not be Anne Hathaway. I'll tell you that right now.
That'd have been awesome though if they'd have brought her back for that. But they can't combine the Nolan universe, so I get that. But for Harley Quinn to have a spinoff actually makes sense. She's had her own title for quite some time already. I mean, she's a fan favorite. People cosplay her to death. And
currently right now she is actually
Hot Topic is making all their money off
merchandise.
Yeah, see, Hot Topic makes a living off of Harley Quinn costumes.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, I mean, the way the uprising is, and we've been talking and preaching diversity, way before the Oscar So White thing. Right. But the uprising as far as diversity of
more
females, with Daisy Ridley and Scarlett Johansson, and now you got this, you got Harley Quinn, and Margot Robbie. It's just blowing up. So I really, really hope that they showcase these ladies really nice. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is fighting right now for an Ocean's 11 remake. female base, so that'd be interesting if that happens. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Suicide Squad, and I'm pretty sure that her performance is well deserving of having a solo film.
Yeah, just don't over-sexualize her, because I know a lot of the women fans are, which is funny because if you see any cosplay, they always do sexual versions of Harley Quinn, but when they show her on screen being sexualized, then everybody has a fit about it. But don't do it. Make her a strong character like she is in the comic books, with a flirt of the sexuality as her weapon type deal. You know, I think it'll turn out really well.
Do you think that the spin-off film will actually have her in her jester outfit?
Possibly, because like I said, they were working on that in this film, but they couldn't make it work. I think give them a little bit more time to try to figure out a way to do, you know, current versus comic. They might come up with something. And plus, the fans are gonna have a cow. I'm trying to keep my swearing down. They're gonna have a cow if they see her in another film where she's not wearing. Just look how much people still give the X-Men about not wearing their outfits. So
oh yeah,
if they do her in another film and not be in a jester outfit, even for a brief second, then they'll have a.
Does
thing.
Leto make an appearance?
Of course, because it's part of the universe, so he's definitely going to make an appearance.
I hope so,
you
but
can't do Harley Quinn without Joker, so
it's got to be a brief cameo, though.
Yeah, it'll be a brief
because
thing.
he can't take anything away from
maybe
her.
It's him trying to get her back. Maybe it's her getting away from him. Or maybe she just runs into him during one of her adventures. So it's something. I get it.
Springer,
Springer,
great. Jerry. All right. So you have old TV shows making a splash, and as far as Transformers and this cinematic universe and all that stuff. Well, Nintendo and arcades kind of want to get in the actions now. The horrible 1993 Super Mario Brothers, horrible, grossed $20 million off a $48 million budget, and it kind of really threw Nintendo off.
refused to do another movie.
Right, exactly, exactly. And then you go, but you go recently. Now, these old characters made an appearance in 2012 on Wreck-It Ralph.
Right.
Some of them, Hubert and Bowser,
right,
and all these, and the Pac-Man goes and all that stuff. So these 80s, characters are still relevant. They're still important to a lot of us, and that's why one of the reasons why Wreck-It Ralph was so freaking awesome.
They actually tried to get Mario in.
Oh, absolutely.
They couldn't get the deal done.
If it was Sonic too, that would have been awesome.
Sonic wasn't it?
See what I mean? Anyway, so they tried again, as far as showcasing Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and all that in Adam Sandler's Pixels last year. Okay, now the movie didn't do that well, but it was still good as from a nostalgic standpoint to see these characters on screen again, right? Especially in the 8-bit format. So now they're not only does Nintendo is thinking about stepping back into the ring, right, and create their own expanded universe, but animated.
Okay, that's good because one, it keeps more truer to their characters. And if they're doing it, are they licensing them out to a studio, or they're actually? It kind of looks like they want to.
It kind of looks like they want to do their own thing.
Well, they can. Be
obviously investors probably a little bit, but I think a majority of it they want to do it themselves.
Then I would actually give it a better thing because they can be truer to to their actual characters. They don't have to worry about somebody like, I want to do this character this way because I have a story in mind that I want to do, and changing the heart of a character
because they already know.
Yeah, they already know. They know what they want their character to be and how it wants to be represented.
Right.
So if they do it, it's kind of like how Marvel doing their own studio. When they licensed it out to everybody, except for Blade, when they licensed it out to everybody, people were doing what they wanted to do with those particular characters. And now Marvel gets to do it in the spirit of their characters. They don't have to worry about somebody else and all these other interpretations. They can do what they want. So Nintendo will be able to do whatever they want with their own characters. So it's a good thing for them. I'm not quite sure I'm going to see this happening because Nintendo has announced other things to try to do with their characters outside of video games, and outside of merchandising, it never really pans out. So,
well, real quick, going back on Blade.
Okay.
You say that they didn't do?
No, I said they did. I said when they licensed out all the characters except for Blade.
You think Blade was more true to the?
I think they did a good job with Blade.
Blade 1 or 2?
Actually, like Blade 1 and 2, just not.
I got 2 over 1.
Really?
Yeah. Trinity had a lot of.
We're off topic.
We're completely off topic. But Trinity had some good spots, but 2's the best one. Right. Okay, so anyway, so you got these video games, right? So how about this one? Okay, so they're thinking about making the Tetris movie. Okay, now
it's like making this is worse than making a Sim City movie. The Tetris movie
this is worse than ROM.
It's gonna be. That's a close second. It's a close second. Are they gonna play that music? Are they gonna play that music? And are you just gonna see? Is it gonna be pixels? Or are you just gonna see blocks falling down in real life?
First of all,
they're
Tetris,
aliens blocks.
Tetris was a big help to us when we worked for Rent-A-Center because we packed.
Because I had to figure out how to pack things.
Because we packed the truck great because of Tetris. But I'm finding it hard because the premise of it is actually supposed to be a sci-fi thriller. I don't see how blocks and all this
blocks falling
is a science fiction thriller.
Well, I mean, if you're under the block, I mean, it's really thrilling, right?
I just don't get it. You look at sci-fi thrillers, you think Aliens, you think Starship Troopers, you're one of your favorites, but you don't think blocks. So, out of these two properties,
I didn't think Pac-Man in pixels could be scary, but they kind of made him scary.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Chomping cars.
Between those two properties, Nintendo and whoever the hell makes Capcom. I mean, no, it's not Capcom.
What?
Is it Capcom that makes Tetris?
No.
Well, whoever makes
it's licensed by Nintendo now, but
out of those two, what part? Because, like I said, they want Tetris to be a trilogy,
right?
And then you have a whole universe,
right,
for Nintendo. Which one of those two would you bet to be successful?
Mario.
The Nintendo animated,
yes. Because they're gonna put if they choose to do it, if they truly gonna do this, whatever they do with Mario, it's gonna come out and it's gonna do well. So.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, but interesting. People are going to laugh at it. It's going to get cut before it even makes it out.
From an original standpoint, that's pretty interesting. I got to give it to them. Having that happen would be very, very interesting.
Yeah. So, if they do a Donkey Kong movie, that would be cool. If they did what's another Nintendo character that actually might be cool? If they did Mario Kart. If they did Mario's in everything.
Paper Mario.
If they did a Yoshi movie, as a cartoon,
Yoshi would be huge.
Yeah,
as an animated, definitely. And if they did do a Mario Kart, but made it like extended, and kind of made it a Cannonball Run. Mario Cannonball Run. Forget it. All right, so we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. I'm curious.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
I'm curious that Mario and all those get brought back to the movies. That'd be awesome. One of the people that were one of the biggest influence for me that I adore to death is Richard Pryor.
Right.
Richard Pryor is one of the best comedians ever. Right. Not on his top 5, but still, for me, top 5.
He's totally misrepresenting me on that. We're talking about stand-ups, not comedians. Stand-ups.
His stand-up is not on his top 5. All right. So, Lee Daniels was set to direct this movie.
Right.
And with Empire going on, and I believe they have another show coming out pretty soon for Fox called Star. His busy schedule, he's had to pull out of this project. Now, it's really important, I would say, for this piece to actually be made. Now, Richard Pryor, when he was alive, made a semi-biographical movie called JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling.
Right.
It was semi-biographical, but it's not. It wasn't really a biography. So
they have a story they wanted to tell, and they tapered it around life events of his.
Right. Similar to 8 Mile.
Right. Similar to Get Rich or Die Trying and things of that sort. So
Mike Epps was tapped to play this role. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that casting whatsoever, but he might have made. Originally, one of the candidates was Marlon Wayans.
I would buy that more than I would buy Mike Epps.
Requiem from a Dream?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you put that kind of a performance that he did in there.
He was also in Dungeons and Dragons.
He was also in Dungeons and Dragons.
He was also in G.I. Joe. God, but
he was Ripcord.
But for this particular type of film, would have been a good casting choice.
I think he would have been.
That's not what they went.
Anyway, so they went with Mike Epps, and the movie is called Is It Something I Said? It's like one of those movies that you just really are you're curious if you see how it's going to turn out because he's such an important figure, especially in the world of comedy. So I'm gonna throw some directors at you,
okay,
and you tell me what you think.
All right.
Well, first of all, let me ask you this better question. Richard Pryor was highly, very important to African Americans, civil rights and stuff like that. He had a voice in that, right? Mm-hmm. And he talked about it in his stand-up, which was made him a genius.
Right.
Does the director have to be black / comedian?
I would prefer to be a black comedian, to be honest. But does he have to be black? It depends on the type of story they want to tell. Do they just want to tell true life? I mean, do they just want to tell events of his life, or do they want to talk about cultural impact? And I think if they talk about his cultural impact, then I believe the director should be black. Okay. If they want to talk about life events, like, okay, he was born this day, he became a comedian this day, he had a drug problem this day, you know,
that could be anybody.
It could be anybody. I mean, anybody can tell, you know, a story like of things that are already written. But if you want to talk about his importance to the black community and to race relations and equal rights and, you know, things of that sort, and just in how his comedy impacted a race of people, I think that director should be black because they'll understand it more than somebody who wasn't black.
And there's a lot of truths in that. At the same time, Michael Mann, who is the white director, did a very good job directing Ali.
No.
And he covered a lot of those civil rights stuff that similar to what you're saying with Will Smith. So, but I think it could work either way. Maybe
I think it was more visible with Ali than it was with Richard Pryor.
Do you think it's because of because he was on stage and a lot of it was audio recorded?
Yeah. And with Ali,
That's a good point.
It was so much, and because his persona was so out there, and it was like he made sure that he was. I mean, what was he like?
Well,
the
they
most
both
recognized
did.
person.
They were both.
But Ali was the most recognized person on the planet at one point.
That's very. That's very.
So I mean, everybody knew about things that he did. Not everybody knew about everything that Richard Pryor did.
Okay. So I want to throw you some directors. Antoine Fuqua, director of Training Day. What do you think about him?
That's a good one. That's a good one. I can see it because besides Training Day, what has he done since?
He's actually doing the Magnificent Seven.
There you go.
It looks really good. Y'all haven't seen the trailer. Y'all need to check out that trailer. He looks freaking amazing.
If he has time after doing that, I think it would be a great person to slide into this because, you know, it's just coming off of that one.
What about Keenan Ivory Wayans?
That is a really good one because I know we talked about this one before we actually did some video. Before we actually got to do the video, we talked about it a little bit all the time beforehand. And Keenan Ivory Wayans is a really, really good one because he's directed before. He's directed comedy, and I think that he can bring, if he chooses to do so, because he's done comedy for so long, if he chooses to do so, I think that he can actually bring that serious nature and the drama to the film that it needs, as well as being able to keep the comedy in it as far as stage presence, as far as, you know, I don't know if I guess they're going to reuse jokes. I don't think they're going to write new jokes, right? So do it in a Richard Pryor style.
I'm pretty sure.
But if they do something like that, then, you know, he could help. You know, I mean, he's a comedian, so.
He also helped write Raw.
He's written for. So he's written for comedians. He's written for sketch comedy.
He did Living Color.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he would be great. To be honest.
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock's an interesting one. Him versus Keenan. I'm gonna go Keenan. I'm gonna go. Chris Rock doesn't have enough under his belt to do it. I know he was behind Top 5,
Head of State, Down to Earth,
but those weren't good films. Top 5 was
Head of State was awesome. You don't like Head of State? That was awesome. That's funny.
Top 5. But so maybe, but I think if they did Chris Rock, it would just because of name.
Now the one that I threw at you. I'm really sold on it, and I haven't seen him do anything or heard of him doing anything, but I hope he does come back and do something, is Robert Townsend.
That would be great.
Now, this
will be something to get him out.
This is the reason why I would choose Robert Townsend is because, one, he directed Raw. So he knows, and he worked close with Eddie, and he gets it as far as the stand-up scene.
And Eddie patterned himself after Richard Pryor for a long time, so.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure there were a lot of conversations about that when they were doing that movie. Also, he did great movies like Hollywood Shuffle.
Right.
He did, and then he knows drama because he did a great 5 Heartbeats.
Right.
Excellent movie.
That was great.
Yeah, so he gets a little bit of both. And if you have not seen Robert Townsend and his Partners in Crime, y'all need to go and YouTube that because it is Bold, the Black, the Beautiful, freaking hilarious.
Do you think, though, you know how sometimes they say some directors kind of get up in age and they don't have that eye anymore? I mean, he's a little older. It's been a while. I mean, his time was in the 80s. We're now like 25 years removed from there. Do you think he has that eye to still be able to capture, like, you know, cinema's changed.
Well, you know what?
Changed. What he used to do back then is a lot. They don't quite do that stuff now.
Normally, I would agree with you, but when I saw MC Hammer perform with Psy on the award show that a few years ago, he still had it. So yeah, I think that he still has it.
All right. Hey, people didn't think George Miller still had it, and then he came out and did a great job with Mad Max. So,
I don't know, what, 6, 7 Academy Awards?
Yeah,
who knows?
But I'm just saying that they do talk about that with in cinema, that sometimes directors, they lose that eye because cinema changes over time, and what we used to think was a standard and for a good film now changes. The standard becomes up here, and if you're still trying to do a film from this era, it may not translate into the now. So
the script is written by Bill Condon, and if they put together a really solid script and they get a really decent cast, because Kate Hudson's playing his wife, Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, wow.
Oprah Winfrey, I believe, is playing his grandmother.
Okay.
So if you get a pretty decent cast around Epps, and which I've never really seen him do drama, so it'll be interesting. Besides, I don't think you count Black Doug. So
Black Doug. That's awesome.
But if you put a decent cast around Epps and you give him somebody like Townsend, I mean, that could, and with that strong script, potentially. It all depends who the producers are too. So you know what?
Or
whoever,
Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Or Keenan Ivory Wayans, or both of them. I don't care. Whatever happens. I hope they really get it together, because that is one story that I really want to see on the screen. Now, one that's debatable from one bio to another. Now, 2015 marked the first time that we got to see NWA and their story as far as their bio, Straight Outta Compton. Snubbed at the Oscars, but pretty much one of the best films of 2015. Great Unknowns. Watch previous episodes, we talk all about it. Anyway, well, one of the things that was taken out of there that did not talk about in Straight Outta Compton was Miss Chalet.
Yes, because there was a whole ugly side of Dre that they didn't want to cover.
But she was very, very integral in all of that whole thing.
Yeah, she was integral in Death Row. So.
Yeah, she was discovered by Eazy-E, and she was part of Ruthless Records for a long time, and she was Dr. Dre's girlfriend. Yeah. Now you're not going to see that in Straight Outta Compton.
And Chick's girlfriend after that.
You're not going to, well, very true. You're not going to see that in Straight Outta Compton, but you are going to see it on the Miss Chalet bio that they're going to be making for Lifetime.
Oh. God, this is no. Who wants to see this? Who wants to see it?
Some people think I'm nice.
The only reason, okay, I'm gonna say the only reason why.
No, just ask me, and I say I'm nice too.
Her only hit. The only reason why people want to see this is because they want to see her ass get beat by Dre.
That's awful.
The only reason why people want to see this.
Well, in that case, it's gonna be guest starring D Brown. That's awful.
I mean, it's on Lifetime. That's
awful.
But Dre, you tried to get away from the whole women beating thing. They gonna get you.
Well, when the movie came out, she was one of the outside voices that was talking about how she was left out of the movie. Now,
purposely.
Now, well, probably, but at the same time, I believe what Cube and Dre said as far as the things that were left out. I mean, that's what. 30 years or 10 years or whatever it was in 2 hours. I mean, that's a lot.
Okay. Yes, they did have to cover a lot in that. Yes.
Exactly. That's tough.
Yes, but when part of the money is being fronted by Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, they were producers in this film, right?
Right.
So I mean, they're either getting the money or fronting the money themselves. So when they're like, "Hey, what are we gonna cut out of this? Oh, let's cut out the ugly part about the guy who's giving us the money."
And let me ask you this: now, he had sold his company to Apple. He sold Beats to Apple around that time.
Yeah, it was the first
do you think that showing that side of him would have altered that deal?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, Miss Chalet was, like I said, she was part of that whole thing for many years, and she was Dr. Dre's girlfriend. And yes, she was also married actually to Suge Knight. Now, this pretty much breaks her silence, and she tells everything as far as
it's going to be watched.
Her part of the story.
Trust me, I'm going to watch it. But the whole point of this movie is really just to show her get beat up.
Now, sad. I don't think that's
sad.
true, but okay.
What else does she have? What's her claim to fame?
I don't know. I want to know who's going to play her for the voice, because the voice.
Oh, somebody doing some baby voice. I still think she fakes that voice. I don't believe that's her voice. And I've seen recent interviews of her. She must practice it before and go. And then a mirror or something, and then she goes out and do it. But for real, this movie is really just so we can watch you get beat up. That's why don't need to watch this movie movie, I almost feel like it's advocating violence on women. That she's doing this because she has nothing else. Nothing else in her life.
Well, I'm pretty sure that she's got royalties. I mean,
no. I'm not saying like that. But what other impactful, inspirational thing happened?
Are you saying she's like the Stacey Dash of music?
How does this relate to Stacey Dash?
I don't know. You didn't see her on Straight Outta Compton, but you're not exactly gonna have any. You're not exactly gonna lose a connection with the movie because our Marcus Taylor, who played Suge Knight on Straight Outta Compton, will be reprising his role as Suge Knight in this movie.
It's the NWA cinematic universe.
Now, is this? Yes, exactly. I wanted to see the post-credit scene so we can spin off into.
There you go. Are we gonna go
the
into
dog pounder?
Or are we gonna go Snoop? Or are we gonna?
So that's hilarious.
I mean, because really, all would happen from that point.
Would it be Compton Infinity Wars?
Because they're gonna show her being signed, show her dating Dre, show her getting beat up by Dre, show her leaving and having a rocky marriage with Suge, and then
getting beat up there too.
She says he never beat her up, which is surprising. Which I'm very surprised about.
Maybe she beat him up.
And then Suge going to jail, and then her battling it out with everybody at Death Row because she has no good ties to any of the other recording artists at Death Row. They all hate her. So that's why I'm like, what is this movie about? Beat up Michelet, hate Michelet. There's no good to come out of this film. Oh God.
I'm curious to see what it's about. Now, if you have, we're almost done. When you factor in movies like the Whitney Houston story, the Aaliyah story, the TLC movie, things like that, they were moderate successes as far as ratings concern goes. So maybe this will happen. I don't know. Marcus Taylor's presence that's a curious one for me because it ties so well to Straight Outta Compton.
It ties it in. I think even if they didn't want to tie it makes it a tie.
I think he is the X factor. Yeah. Seriously. So hey, good luck.
It's like when Wolverine was gonna walk on set for Spider-Man, and they wouldn't let it happen because it was gonna tie the universe together.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. And it's like, I was surprised they're going to let this happen but there's nothing contractually that they didn't multiple film contract him, so he can do whatever he wants, and it's going to literally tie the films together. So
besides Ghostbusters, this is probably the most animated that I've seen you.
We didn't talk about Ocean's 11. We talked about Ocean's 11, the reboot with Jennifer Lawrence. I'd have been animated on that one too because I got some opinions about that.
Anyway, so you do have these, we just talked about Harley Quinn and her being spun off. We had a lot of great spin-offs in the past. We've had a lot of bad ones in the past. So with that being said, here's our top 5. All right, so today's top 5 is the top 5 spin-offs. Movie spin-offs. Tenth, go first.
Oh man, what did I do my list? Oh, I dropped my list, sorry. Got my list. My top 5 movie spin-offs, right?
Movie spin-offs.
All right, so okay, so the criteria of this top 5 was that the characters had to appear in the previous film.
Whatever.
Okay, we have no criteria for this. We do whatever we want here. All right, so my top 5 of whatever we're doing is spin-offs. Number 5, The Hobbit. Spin-off from
Lord of the Rings.
Kind of a prequel.
It's a prequel.
Okay. Kind of a prequel, but technically was a spin-off. I'm reaching on this one. And because I'm reaching, I'm not even going to talk about it. Number 4, Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice.
So that was a good one. It was a way to tie all the films together by a character that appeared in all of them. Right. So
and a lot of the old characters from the previous movies were actually in that movie also.
Exactly. So I mean, that was great. They always talked about Batman was in it. They always talked about doing a sequel to it and never got around to doing it. I wish they would go ahead and do that, but
they're getting old already. How much stoner fart jokes can you do?
They still make stoner fart joke movies.
That's true. Our friends are in their 40s and they still do it.
Exactly. There you go. All right.
Number 3,
Puss in Boots.
Very nice. I love that. I thought about that all day.
And it was like it was such a when they introduced the character, it was so perfect, and Antonio Banderas fit the character so well that when they spun off, you were just like, yes, give me more of this character.
Hell yeah.
So that's awesome. It's one of those things. I'm surprised he didn't get a whole franchise off Puss in Boots. They make Minions.
I know, really.
Why
They got a
did
series.
Yeah, they got a series. They got multiple films, didn't they?
No, I mean, Puss in Boots got a series.
Oh, they got a series. But he wasn't a voice actor anymore, though.
No, he wasn't.
They changed the voice actor. All right. Number 2.
Number 2.
U.S. Marshal.
Very nice.
All right.
Great.
Or U.S. Marshal.
We're going to have a lot of the same.
Because trust me, this category was really, really difficult. But so if we have the same ones, it's because there's not too many good spin-offs. But U.S. Marshals was a great one to The Fugitive. You know, Tommy Lee Jones and his character as a marshal hunting him down.
Was awesome.
Just to see that same tenacity with everybody else, or with Wesley Snipes, I don't say with everybody else, but knowing that he has that same tenacity for other types of individuals, and to see him go up against Wesley Snipes, who was an up-and-coming action star at the time, it just brought it brought The Fugitive to another level.
It was Two-Face versus Blade.
Yeah, it was. They should have called this Fugitive 2. Why didn't they just call it Fugitive 2? All right. Number 1. Creed.
Absolutely.
Creed.
Absolutely.
All right. So, because it was unexpected, it featured, the namesake of a character that would appear in the original series and stuff like that, transferred over. He was in videos, so I guess it kind of counts because he appeared in this movie. Rocky appeared in this film, and dealing with his son, we talked, to high heavens about how great Creed is, and it makes it one of the best spin-offs I can think of for movies anyway, not including TV. It was perfect storm.
Absolutely.
Perfect storm of everything. So that's my top 5.
My 5 is actually the same, pretty much exactly like yours. Number 5 is Puss in Boots.
5 Puss in Boots?
5 Puss in Boots.
Where's the hate mail? Come on.
Hey, Batman on 5. Puss in Boots can be on 5. Banderas was gold. It was freaking hilarious. I loved it. Number 4, a little bit different though. Get him to the Greek.
Okay, I didn't watch Forget.
It was part of Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, I didn't watch that film, so I didn't watch this one because I haven't seen the original.
Every scene that Russell Brand is in on Forgetting Sarah Marshall earned him this movie, and he did not disappoint. And it was just freaking hilarious, and he was awesome. And it's not there's not going to be very moments where I'm going to say Russell Brand is awesome. So
do you think?
I think of Arthur, and I just want to shoot him.
The coming of Jonah Hill in this film. Coming out of Jonah Hill.
No, that was Knocked Up or Superbad. I would say I would probably say Superbad. I would say Superbad.
I don't think he's even the same. He was so young in Superbad.
I would still say Superbad.
Okay, all right.
Okay, fine. Then Knocked Up.
Okay.
Number 3, of course, is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
All right.
First was introduced in Clerks, and then appeared in everything from Mallrats to Dogma, all over the place. So yeah. Number 2, also U.S. Marshals. Freaking Tommy Lee Jones, man, awesome. He won an Oscar for that role in The Fugitive. Didn't win one for this one, but they're like, all right, you had your Fugitive. You had your shot. You're good. Go make your money now. It was awesome. And the number 1 is Creed. Also, Creed was absolutely. It was just perfect. I mean, just to spin it off so perfectly from Rocky was just awesome. For them to have the Rocky score towards the end was awesome. And I'm still saying it. He can actually vouch for it. Watch Rocky 4 first, and then watch Creed, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. And as you notice, we really didn't do any comic book movies in this film, and because we could count those as spin-offs, but it's too easy.
Yeah, it is very too easy.
And so besides comic book spin-offs, there's only 6 good spin-off movies.
And we were going to get into TV shows, but like Three's a Crowd from Three's Company is not that good.
Yeah.
The Ropers. The Ropers from Three's Company.
The Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons and Good Times from All in the Family.
Yeah.
All in the Family spun off both the Jeffersons and the Good Times.
We're totally dating ourselves because everybody's watching this has no idea what the heck we're talking about.
Google it.
You guys get NCIS and CSI Miami, and
those are spinoffs.
And what's the spinoff to
Legends of Tomorrow, the spinoff of Flash.
Very true, and Flash is a spinoff of Arrow technically. And what I was going to think of the
SmackDown's a spinoff of Raw.
What is it? The Voice is a spinoff of.
It's not Idol.
It's a
different freak. All right.
It's basically a spinoff of Idol. That's what it is. It's a spinoff of Idol. They getting credit because of Idol.
Whatever. All right.
And Dancing with the Stars.
Terrence, take us home.
All right. So obviously we didn't have a guy on the couch this week, so maybe we'll try to fix that next week. We can get a friend to make it out here to come sit. We'll talk with us if you're watching this. and you would like to be a guy or girl on the couch, let us know.
I'll leave that one alone.
If you're in San Antonio, let us know, because we'd love to have another guest here on the show. But outside of that, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Definitely let us know if you like this particular topic that we did on this one, and also to comment to let us know if there's more than 6 top spin-off movies.
I'd like to throw a shout out real quick, kind of like a farewell to Tejano star Emilio Nevada, who passed away. He died at the age of 53. He was a Tejano icon, and he was very young. Really, really popular, especially here in San Antonio, and he's going to be missed, definitely. And I kind of want to throw a farewell shout out for the show Castle.
Nathan
Fillion, Santa Cat, they canceled the show, and when my son was born, to keep me from being bored out of my mind, Castle helped. So the beautiful Santa Katic and the awesome Nathan Fillion, y'all really made being Mr. Mom that much easier. So
maybe they're getting ready for Uncharted.
Maybe they make me. So thank you very much for the cast and crew and all you guys. Y'all were freaking awesome. Thank you, and hopefully we'll get like one of those. You know how they always bring it back the characters like for a movie, like for a show movie.
Oh, like a reunion?
Yeah, like a reunion movie, like a whole movie. There's like 2 hours of the. Like they did forget it. Anyway.
For all those other great shows that got canceled, just the one you're going to bring them back.
For Aspen in the back, I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And that was the goods.
And let me throw up my top 5.
I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And that was the goods. Today's top 5 is biopics. Top 5 biopics. Not necessarily just true stories.
I'm gonna run that at the